On the immortal Martial continent, deep within the grounds of the holy demonic sect, a eerie purple glow hangs over the mountains under the dark night sky. Inside a dimly lit chamber decorated with chained skulls and flickering purple flames, a terrified young man lies bound to a bed, desperately begging to be set free. Unmoved by his pleas, the woman pinning him down coldly refuses to let him go. Hovering over him with a wicked grin and a fluffy foxtail swaying behind her, the red-haired captor excitedly announces that today is finally the day they consummate their marriage. In reality, his body was overflowing with pure yang energy, turning him into a prime tool for others to enhance their cultivation. Blushing with desire, the woman seductively asks if he really has the heart to leave his wife all alone on their wedding night. Bound tightly in ropes, the young man reveals his name as Zhao Mu, and despite how crazy it sounds, he is actually a transmigrator, while his captor presses against him, asking if she no longer satisfies him. She then pulls open a curtain to reveal various revealing costumes, asking if she should change into something else to indulge her twisted desires, leading Zhao Mu to bitterly clarify that this woman isn't even his wife. 1 year ago, he transmigrated into this world as the son of a noble family, riding proudly through town on a decorated white horse with a marriage engagement to the royal princess. But before he could reach the pinnacle of his life, he was suddenly kidnapped by members of the holy demonic sect. Little did he know, becoming a prisoner was only the beginning of his troubles, and his true nightmare was still yet to come. As it turned out, his pure yang physique served as the ultimate source of nourishment for anyone practicing the 9 Yin mystic skill. Covered in lipstick marks and bound like a captive, he knew that no one in the sect cared whether a lowly servant disciple lived or died. As the red-haired woman leans over him in bed, she playfully asks if he isn't in the mood, causing him to gulp nervously. But eventually, the constant drain on his vitality reduced him to the verge of being drained dry, leaving him coughing up blood in agony. As she firmly grabs his chin, Zhao Mu looks at her with blood dripping from his mouth, desperately crying out in his mind that he doesn't want to die. With a loud smack, she violently grabs him by the neck, making him grit his teeth in rage. Blowing him a playful kiss, she taunts him, asking if it isn't an honor to be killed by someone as pretty as her. She then opens a small green vial, explaining that the yang merging pill inside will revitalize his pure yang physique. Mentioning that her 9 Yin mystic skill is on the verge of a breakthrough, she tells him not to be stingy with his energy, before forcefully shoving the pill down his throat and making him swallow. As he swallows the pill, she coldly tells him that if he helps her achieve her breakthrough, his death won't be in vain, while he desperately begs her in his mind to let him go. Pinned beneath her as she giggles and urges him to try harder, Zhao Mu despairs at the thought of dying on the bed of a vixen before even getting the chance to explore this world. Clenching his bloodied fist tightly against the sheets, he furiously refuses to accept such a fate. Suddenly, a system notification chimes into existence, detecting his intense desire to live and activating the reparation system, instructing a surprised Zhao Mu to bind with the glowing system orb hovering beside him. Reaching out to touch the orb, he thinks back on the whole agonizing year he spent suffering, while the system explains that every act of giving will trigger a reparation payout up to 10,000 times the original value. Clenching his fist with newfound determination, Zhao Mu realizes he finally has a chance to rewrite his fate, as the system completes the binding and grants him a guaranteed 10,000-fold multiplier on his first payout as compensation for its late activation. Oblivious to his system's awakening, the woman giggles seductively, teasing that despite his protests, his body's reactions say otherwise. Tugging boldly on his leash, Zhao Mu decides to drop his pride once and for all, fiercely declaring that he will do his absolute best to satisfy her. Grabbing her roughly near the neck and making her gasp in surprise, Zhao Mu inwardly curses, wondering why she won't just let him go. Instead of being intimidated, the woman blushes with excitement, giggling and pleading with him not to hold back. Taking charge, Zhao Mu leans in close, realizing that since the heavens have granted him a second chance, he must take full advantage of it. Even as she digs her nails into his shoulder, making him wince, Zhao Mu glares ahead with absolute resolve, vowing in his mind that he will definitely become the master of his own fate. Overwhelmed by his sudden intensity, the woman blushes deeply and swoons, eagerly declaring that tonight she belongs entirely to him. As the night passes, morning breaks over the quiet pavilion, with sunlight reflecting off the water. By the next day, Zhao Mu is left lying flat on his back, looking hollow-eyed and completely drained of energy. While the woman stretches lazily with a satisfied sigh, Zhao Mu lies motionless on the bed, staring blankly up at the ceiling. Tying up her hair, the woman smugly remarks that despite him contributing only a little pure yang energy, his performance last night was actually quite satisfactory. Leaping out the open window in a puff of smoke, she adds that it was a shame about those yang-nourishing pills, promising to look for him again if he survives. Left lying on the bed, Xiaomu suddenly breaks into a dark smirk. Instantly, a massive surge of golden energy bursts through his entire body as the system activates its 10,000-fold reparation for being drained by the Nine Charms Fox, granting him the legendary Scarlet Yang Divine Physique. As the golden power floods his veins, consecutive system notifications chime in, confirming that he has successfully broken through straight to the third and then the fourth tier of the energy refining stage. The system notifications continue to flood in, revealing that he has rocketed all the way to the peak of the 10th tier of the energy refining stage. Enveloped in roaring golden flames with his hair floating wildly, Xiaomu marvels at the overwhelming power of a divine physique. However, he quickly suppresses his blazing aura, knowing that now is definitely not the time to draw attention to himself. Looking solemn, he reminds himself that the holy demonic sect is packed with powerful cultivators, and if his secret ever gets out, he will suffer a fate far worse than being used as a human cauldron. Pulling his robes back on, Xiaomu knows he must get stronger quickly while no one is paying attention to him. Walking through the sect grounds, he realizes that spirit stones are essential for boosting his cultivation, considering using his Scarlet Yang Divine Physique to earn them from female disciples. But holding his chin in thought, he reminds himself that he has a system now and needs to start thinking bigger, especially since those female disciples aren't rich enough to pay more than 3 or 4 spirit stones a night. Letting out a soft sigh, Xiaomu wonders what else he can possibly do to earn a massive amount of spirit stones fast. Suddenly, Xiaomu pauses as his attention is drawn to someone nearby. It is Wang Chan, an outer sanctum disciple of the holy demonic sect, sitting cross-legged in deep meditation with a blue spiritual aura humming around him. Peeking over a courtyard wall, Xiaomu recalls how Wang Chan often looked out for him when he first arrived, deciding it's time to repay that kindness. Realizing a golden opportunity, Xiaomu calculates that if he gives Wang Chan the 200 spirit stones he saved over the past year, the system's reparation effect will kick in and reward him with a far greater fortune. Xiaomu tosses the pouch over the wall, landing right on Wang Chan's shoulder and startling him out of his meditation. Catching the bag, Wang Chan opens it up and is shocked to discover that it's packed with spirit stones. Grabbing the pouch tightly with a delighted grin, Wang Chan happily assumes his hard work must have impressed a sect elder who secretly left the stones to aid his cultivation. Watching from around the corner, Xiaomu hears a system chime ring out, confirming that by gifting the 200 spirit stones, he has successfully triggered a 500-fold reparation. As a beam of golden light shines down, a shower of 100,000 colorful spirit stones rains down upon Xiaomu, leaving him amazed at how ridiculously easy it was to earn them. Smirking with ambition, he realizes 100,000 is just the beginning. If he triggers a 10,000-fold reparation, he could net 2 million stones, allowing him to repay everyone who ever humiliated him 1,000,000 times over. Curious to test the limits of his power, he wonders if giving away the spirit stones granted by the system will trigger another payout. Testing his theory, a massive cascade of glowing spirit stones clatters down from the sky all over the disciple nearby, leaving the poor man terrified and shouting in utter confusion. Looking down at the stones scattered around him, the disciple rejoices, convinced that a mysterious benefactor must be secretly watching over him. As the disciple vows out loud to train hard and not disappoint this generous elder, Xiaomu stands quietly around the corner, staring at his system interface in total silence. Clicking his tongue in annoyance when no new payout triggers, Xiaomu realizes the system doesn't have an easy loophole he can exploit. Suddenly, a tall and elegant female swordwoman in white robes approaches, coldly asking if he is still alive, leaving Xiaomu stunned to see Lu Qi standing right before him. Xiaomu bows respectfully, greeting her as senior. He recognizes her as Lu Qi, another Outer Sanctum disciple who practices the 9 Yin mystic skill. He recalls how she used to look out for him when he first arrived, until the red-haired demoness Chu Jia warned her to stay away, forcing Lu Qi to keep her distance. Lu Qi remarks that he has grown much stronger recently, noting that his pure yang physique must be more powerful than she thought, though Xiaomu modestly claims he just got lucky. Suddenly grabbing his hand, Lu Qi summons a flying sword, mentioning that since Chu Jia is in seclusion training for a few days, they should use this time to help with her own training. Stepping onto the massive glowing blade, she instructs him to get up there with her. The sword blasts off abruptly into the sky, flustering Lu Qi as Xiaomu clings tightly to her waist, begging her to slow down. As they soar through the air, Lucci notes how much his cultivation and demeanor have changed over the past few months, asking if Chujioran gave him any aid, though Xiaomu knows that the vixen is only the type to take and never give back. Lucci warns him that Chujioran is a dangerous demon fox who will eventually drain him to death. Blushing slightly, she reveals her plan to challenge Chujioran to a duel once she breaks through to the core formation stage, declaring that if she wins, she wants Jiaomu to become her follower. Flustered as Jiaomu holds her tightly around the waist, she complains that he's too close, though Jiaomu smoothly replies that he'll be counting on her. As their flying sword lands at the inner sanctum of the holy demonic sect, Jiaomu inwardly fumes, wondering why everyone keeps treating him like a prize to be claimed. Once inside her room, Lucci shuts the door and explains that she is about to break through to the core formation stage, promising to reward him with a vitality pill if he helps her succeed, which Jiaomu readily. Stepping into the warm water filled with rose petals, Lucci lets out a splash as she settles into the wooden tub. Blushing and panting in the rising steam, she thinks to herself that with no one here to stop them this time, they need to act. Suddenly, Jiaomu appears right behind her in a white robe, teasingly asking what it is they have to do, and startling her. Before she can recover, Jiaomu steps directly into the bath with her, declaring that they should bathe together since the night is short and they have work to do. Holding her closely from behind in the tub, Jiaomu smoothly announces that it's time to begin. As the water ripples around them, Jiaomu praises the impressive nature of her 9-yin mystic skill. With water splashing everywhere during their session, Lu Fan gasps, admitting that his pure yang physique is truly overwhelming. Afterward, Lu Fang rests slumped against the tub's edge, completely exhausted and panting for air, while a relaxed Jiaomu smiles behind her, remarking that he didn't expect a 9-yin mystic skill practitioner like her to still be so inexperienced. Embarrassed, Lu Fan stops him for saying that out loud, while Jiaomu playfully backs off. Resting her head on the tub's edge, Lu Fi quietly confesses that she's getting married next month. Xiaomu gasps in shock upon hearing her fiancé's name is Long Tiansheng. He knows Long Tiansheng is an unparalleled genius of the holy demonic sect, who reached the nascent soul stage before age 30 and mastered sword intent. Face-palming in sheer dread, Xiaomu panics at the thought of what such a powerful figure would do to him if he found out. However, gently poking his chest, Lucci reassures him that Long Tianshan accidentally rendered himself an eunuch while practicing an ancient sword manual, meaning as long as they keep quiet, no one will ever know. Snuggling up against his chest in the water, Lucci softly admits that she wouldn't have given him her first time if she didn't truly love him. Hearing her heartfelt confession, Jiaomu gazes down at her softly, deeply moved by her feelings. Embracing her tenderly, Jiaomu pulls Lucci into a passionate kiss. Leaning close, they share an intimate night together. As their silhouettes are seen through the window screen, Jiaomu suggests they keep working hard since her breakthrough is imminent, making her playfully call him a silly boy. By the next morning, sunlight brightens the sky outside, while Lucci lies fast asleep on the bed, snoring softly. Sitting up beside her, Jiaomu smiles excitedly as his system interface suddenly pops up. A powerful golden aura flares around his body as the system triggers an 800-fold reparation for his drained energy, greatly enhancing his Scarlet Yang divine physique. As the golden power surges through him, the system congratulates him on advancing straight to the Foundation establishment stage, leaving Jiaomu confident that at this rate he won't have to fear any retaliation from Long Tiansheng and his family. Turning to look back at Lu Fi lying beside him, a sudden thought suddenly comes to his mind. Shaking her awake, Jiaomu asks Lu Qi where his promised reward is. Groggily handing him a small green bottle, Lu Qi tells him he is incredible, admitting she can't take it anymore and desperately needs to sleep. Pouring the contents into his palm while she snores in the background, Jiaomu is pleased to find 10 vitality pills inside, marveling at her generosity. Looking at the pill bottle with a mischievous smirk, a clever idea forms in his mind. Realizing that he needs to give pills away to trigger his system anyway, he decides he might as well give them right back to her. He gently feeds one of the pills into the sleeping Lu Qi's mouth. Immediately, system notifications chime in, confirming he gave away a second-grade vitality pill and triggered a 30-fold reparation, upgrading it to a third-grade vitality pill. Holding up the glowing pill, Zhao Mu frowns slightly, feeling that a 30-fold payout just isn't good enough. Looking at the remaining 9 pills in his palm, Zhao Mu hopes for at least a 1,000-fold reparation on his next attempt. Meanwhile, Lu Qi continues happily munching away on the pills in her sleep. Suddenly, the system chimes in, announcing that giving away another second-grade vitality pill has successfully triggered a massive 3,000-fold reparation. A brilliant golden halo glows around the sleeping Lu Qi's head. leaving Xiaolu amazed. Instantly, a vibrant green energy aura surges as a glowing pill emerges floating right above his palm. The system confirms that he has obtained a rare, 7th grade marrow cleansing pill. Marveling at the treasure in his hand, Xiaolu grins with delight, knowing how incredible this reward is. He reflects that while the marrow cleansing pill can replenish energy like a vitality pill, its primary function is to permanently enhance one's physical aptitude and talent. Clenching his fist, Xiaolu reflects that while his pure yang physique is considered exceptional among ordinary people, his talent is still lacking compared to the true geniuses of the sect. Determined to expand his potential if he wants to go further, he pops the marrow cleansing pill straight into his mouth. As the pill dissolves, intense flames flare up around his body, making him marvel at its immense potency. Immediately sitting cross-legged on the floor, he focuses on absorbing the medicinal power as fast as he can. Golden fire erupts around him in a powerful surge as the pill cleanses his body from within. Shortly after, Lucci wakes up on the bed holding her nose from the foul impurities expelled from his body, telling him he smells terrible and insisting he go take a bath, which Xiaolu sheepishly agrees to. Pushing open the bath chamber door, Xiaolu steps inside to clean himself off. Standing under the pouring water with a towel, he washes away all the dark impurities, leaving his body completely refreshed. Swiping open the shower curtain, Lu Fang's surprised to find that Xiaolu has already reached the foundation establishment stage, assuming her vitality pills were remarkably potent. Stepping closer to touch his chest, she notes that his body is far too purified for his level, asking if he took anything besides her pills. Panicking in his mind, Xiaolu realizes there is no way he can explain where he got a marrow cleansing pill if she finds out. Slamming his hand against the wall beside her head, Xiaolu turns the tables by asking if it was due to their dual cultivation together, noting that she still hasn't reached the core formation stage. Leaning in close to her face, he playfully blames himself for not putting in enough effort and proposes going for one more round. As their silhouettes move behind the steamy curtains, Lu Fang panics, calling him crazy and warning that this could kill him, though Xiaolu insists it's all to help her achieve her breakthrough. Eventually, Lu Fang crays completely passed out on the bed, snoring softly in total exhaustion. Fully dressed back in his robes, Xiaolu looks back at her sleeping form, telling her to take her time making her breakthrough, as he heads out. System notifications chime, confirming that his energy extraction by Lucci triggered a tenfold reparation, slightly enhancing his Scarlet Yang energy. Walking lightly down a stone staircase, Xiaolu marvels at the power of the foundation establishment stage, feeling how much lighter his body has become. He smiles ambitiously, realizing that once he gets a flying sword, he'll be able to travel across the skies and oceans freely. He soon arrives at the Outer Sanctum's marketplace, filled with lit shops and stalls. At a merchant's stall, Xiaolu purchases a wooden box containing a sword, with the vendor thanking him for his business. Opening the box, a blue flying sword named Starkiller floats into the air, forged from meteoric iron and engraved with a star vortex formation that absorbs stellar energy to boost its damage. Holding the box, Xiaolu notes that the sword cost him 30,000 spirit stones, wondering how massive his reparation payout will be when he gifts it away. Suddenly, an off-screen voice shouts out, calling him a gigolo and declaring she finally found him, prompting a curious Xiaolu to look back. Standing before him in the street is a massive bull demon, whom Xiaolu immediately recognizes as Nu Ti. He recalls that Nu Ti is an Outer Sanctum disciple and an ardent suitor of Chu Jiaran, who constantly pestered Xiaolu in the past, until Chu Jiaran stepped in. As red demonic energy flares around Nu Ti, Xiaolu notes that as a bull demon in the Foundation establishment stage, he is much stronger than human cultivators at the same level, making him the perfect opponent to test his own newfound strength. Grabbing Xiaolu aggressively by the collar, Nu Ti fumes with rage, asking if it's true that he met up with Chu Jiaran again. Unbothered, Xiaolu uses glowing golden energy to pry Nu Ti's hand off his collar, coolly asking so what if he did. Enraged, Nu Ti throws a furious, aura-infused punch, roaring at him to die. With a loud bang, Xiaolu effortlessly stops the massive fist with a single open palm. Holding Nu Ti's attack in place, Xiaolu casually declares that he plans to enjoy his life together with Jiaran, leaving Nu Ti stunned to realize that Xiaolu has reached the Foundation establishment stage as well. Infuriated, Nu Ti triggers a berserk outburst of red energy, asking Xiaolu if he truly thinks they are equals. Going all out, Nu Ti unleashes a furious barrage of energy-infused punches to show his full power. Xiaolu effortlessly dodges every single strike with a smile, teasing that while Nu Ti might be strong, he is far too slow, causing the enraged bull demon to yell at him to shut up. Slipping past another blow, Jiamu marvels at the power of his Scarlet Yang divine physique, realizing he can easily handle one of the top 100 Outer Sanctum disciplines right after breaking through. Deflecting the wild attacks with ease, Jiamu decides it's time to end the fight. Winding back his arm, he coats his fist in a blazing golden flame. With a heavy impact, Jiamu lands a brutal punch directly onto Nuti's face. Nuti falls knocked out cold in the middle of the street, leaving his panic-stricken lackeys rushing over in fear, wondering how Jiamu suddenly became so powerful. One of Nuti's lackeys angrily shouts at Jiamu, asking how he dares hurt their boss and if he's ever heard of the new family, to which Jiamu calmly thanks him for the reminder. With a flick of his finger, Jiamu launches the newly bought flying sword straight out of its box. The blade stabs directly into the wooden wall right beside the lackey's face, scaring him half to death. Turning to walk away, Jiamu explains that the sword is worth 30,000 spirit stones and should easily cover Nuti's medical expenses. Instantly, his system chimes, announcing that giving away a second-grade flying sword triggered a 1,000-fold reparation. The system awards him a 5th-grade flying sword named the Celestial Star Hunter, though Jiamu finds a 5th-grade weapon rather average. As Jiamu continues down the street, Nuti's lackeys nod to each other and leap down from above to ambush him, but Jiamu remains completely unbothered. Erupting with aura and a dark grin, Jiamu warns them that they have left him no choice. 2 sharp blue slashes cut through the air in an instant, causing the 2 lackeys to fall to their knees in agony, dropping their weapons as they scream in pain. Suddenly, a fiery aura flares as a beautiful woman steps forward, telling the lackeys to feel ashamed for playing the victim. Holding her sword, the woman, identified as Mu Yuting, boldly calls them out, declaring she saw everything and that they were the ones who attacked him first.